Thank you for your presentation. It was absolutely amazing. And I actually learned some new things about Yash that you discovered. We would like to ask you a few questions about your experience and your work as architect. First one is the street part. What is the role of public space in the conception of your projects? And how do you view the public space in Yash? And what was your favorite one?
Starting with the public space in our project, in our proposal, or generally, it's the most important thing because that's what most of people get to see and experience. And I think for us, we start designing around that, is getting people to engage with the surroundings. We've also studied that in depth, and it makes psychologically, it makes you feel better. You can monitor that nowadays. We did an experiment in our office. We put a little headset on one person's head and let him walk around the street. And whenever we found an interesting moment, his brain activity went into really positiveness.
Yeah, so when crossing the river or when turning a corner and seeing something special, you actually perceive that as a
so
moment.
it makes you happier, and it enhances your life. And I think that's something we're really keen on, and I think we've tried to apply that for Yash as well. Coming to Yash, for us is a bit different because we came to Yash before. We know a bit the city, but we saw it with different eyes now. Since you're doing a project, you're really documenting. You're seeing it with slightly different eyes. So we walked all the streets, and we're surprised. I mean, it's a lot of variety. There's beautiful places, and I don't know. I think we probably have different views on what's. For me, the Teie Church that Stefan cel Mare axis is spectacular, and the way it's kept. Well, for me, even surprising, and how clean, how proud people are of the place.
Yeah, I think there was a moment yesterday when we presented to the jury that we praised this as well, because it's our honest opinion that it is a great place. And of course, when you cross a boundary, it changes. There's a lot of contrast. But they were almost in disbelief. Like, wow, you don't have to pretend it's so beautiful. No, we actually mean it. These monuments are spectacular, and I think that's what we try to also look and capture in our project. Make sure that these are put into their best light.
Now on to the second question. During your process of research and documentation about Yash, what aspects, what one aspect you find most interesting?
So many, because we said this project is extremely complex. It has to take into account a phenomenal amount of criteria. For me, probably the historic reference is justifying for us as well that it's important maybe to build something on the site and to give something to the city. It's simple enough to say don't do anything, but at the same time it's not being used, and I think doesn't give anything back to the inhabitants of Yash. So we think something has to be done, but it has to be done in a sensible way and make the most of it.
Can you explain? I know this is a larger question, but can you explain shortly, briefly, your process of design? Like, what are the steps you do to come with the first idea? Not like the complete vision, but maybe that like nucleus.
Difficult. Sometimes there's a bit of a gut feeling once you've seen everything. You get an instinct maybe for what it could be. But we start with a lot of analysis, really thorough, methodical way of going through every single detail to understand the context, because it has to react to something, especially in sites like this where it's in the middle of the city and an urban fabric. And then we really meet with a lot of specialists within our teams, and we discuss it from different perspectives to understand how everyone sees it, what specialists see in this process or site or building. And then we start developing slowly ideas, and we do this as an iterative process, and we polish it until it gets to a point where we're all happy. I guess that's.
I think you mentioned it before, but the only constant is change. We're actually, because Lord Foster said that, I think always happy to relook at things, and we're always challenging ourselves again and again. So it's not that one idea at the beginning and you follow it. We have to, by learning and by studying more and more, the idea develops. And it's, in this case, it was a very layered approach where you have to take all the considerants. There's not just a hand sketch. A hand sketch. Great.